Welcome back, No Contest community. I'm your host, Jordan from No Contest. Here to give you insight and to get those brain juices pumping about one of the most controversial topics that no one ever wants to touch in the Naruto universe. And that's, how strong is Sasuke without his Rinnegan? Let's dive right into it. Like most of you already know, Sasuke got his eye completely kebabbed in the recent Boruto manga. So for a small recap, in the Jigen / Ishiki fight, Boruto, or Borushiki for those that are up to date with the meta, completely lost the kunai in Sasuke's Rinnegan, which is a pretty solid nerf. Which raises the question, what can this character still do? Let's start with the obvious abilities we know he lost or most likely lost. His most notable, in my opinion, is his space-time ninjutsu, Amino Tejikara. This move is one of the most dangerous techniques Sasuke has in his arsenal. Being able to swap places with objects and people is pretty ridiculous. Especially combined with Sasuke's Unreal Taijutsu, it just makes this move something you don't want to be up against. It added so much unpredictability to his kid, I honestly hate to see this move go. Another ability that is gone is the ability to open portals. We see this in the manga after the Ishiki fight, that Sasuke asked Boruto to transport them back to the village because he couldn't do it anymore. Which this move allowed Sasuke to literally go anywhere he pleases, and it made gathering intel way faster for the Leaf Village. It's crazy to think that not only is this a nerf for him, but it's also a nerf for the village. The last two were special abilities to his person, but he loses the basic Rinnegan techniques as well. He loses the ability to be able to master all jutsu. Things like Planetary Devastation, Almighty Push, the Universal Pool, being able to absorb chakra are gone. I mean, he loses a lot of things that make him effective on the playing field. We all know that Sasuke lost his arm in the final fight between him and Naruto, but him having the Rinnegan made you forget he only has one arm. But now that we covered most things that he lost that made him incredibly strong, now we can move on to what he still uses and talk about some of the things that are iffy. Susanoo is one of the biggest trademarks for the Uchiha that unlocked the Mangekyo Sharingan in both eyes. But there's a question that's been floating around not too long ago that I saw that I thought was really interesting. And the question was, can Sasuke still use Susanoo with only one eye? In theory, the answer is yes, because Madara Uchiha in the 4th Great Ninja War was popping Susanoo with no eyes at all. So perhaps the initial unlock requires both eyes to be Mangekyo, but after that the eyes aren't necessary. Susanoo is probably going to be Sasuke's saving grace while he's under being nerfed. It still allows him to drastically change the scale of battles, so his base attack and defense are still somewhat intact. Having a giant humanoid avatar of chakra still poses a hefty threat. So let's cover one of Sasuke's special abilities to his person with his Mangekyo Sharingan, which is Amaterasu, the black flames that can be projected onto anything by a simple glance of one eye. What is crazy about this technique is that the flames cannot be extinguished unless the user uses the opposite eye to extinguish them. But to accompany that, Sasuke also has an ability in one eye to be able to manipulate the flames in different shapes and sizes, which was called the Infernal Style Flame Control. Now, it was never specified what eye had the ability, like we don't know if it was the left or the right eye, but this is what I meant by this could be iffy. Sasuke's Rinnegan was special in its own right, because not only was it the Rinnegan, but it had the Sharingan Tomo in it. So it was safe to assume that the Rinnegan he possessed was able to still pull off Sharingan function. So remember when I said the Infernal Style Flame Control ability is in one eye? What if the eye Boruto hit was the Flame Control eye? Ultimately, that would be the best possible scenario for Sasuke because he then doesn't lose Amaterasu entirely. But the worst case scenario is that the Rinnegan eye held the ability to produce the flames. At that point, he loses Amaterasu entirely, and the other eye's ability is rendered useless since there's, no black flames to manipulate. So how strong is Sasuke without his Rinnegan? So in retrospect, if you're a huge Naruto fan like me, we know that Sasuke is still honestly ridiculous in strength even without his Rinnegan. He has Chidori, Kirin, an abundance of Shuriken Jutsu, Susanoo, the Mangekyo Sharingan, summonings, and maybe still Amaterasu. He may have gotten nerfed, but he only got nerfed from being a god. I don't think he will be able to stand up to any Otsutsuki by himself ever again, but maybe with the right team and hope, they can still win. Well, that's all for today's video. Did I miss anything crucial? Comment down below. We would love to further everyone's knowledge on the Naruto universe. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing and liking the video. I'm your host, Jordan from the No Contest Nation. See you on the next one.